Hey beautiful, thanks so much for tuning in to today's KTV and the terrific Tuesday tip of the week. Yeah, today's KTV, we are getting ready for St. Patty's Day up in here, and we are going to be talking about some ways to make it rain. We are going all green, talking about money, honey. So let's jump in. I got a quick story to share with you today that's really going to hammer home or illustrate the point of today's KTV. Y'all know that within the last 6 to 7 months, I've moved to Northwest Arkansas. And so I was looking for someone to help me shoot some videos. So I called around to some videographers here in Northwest Arkansas. And the first guy I spoke to said to me basically, it's pretty expensive to work with me. And I said, okay, great. I didn't ask about price. Thank you very much. And he said, well, to keep the videos really low budget, here's what we're going to need to do. And I said, again, I didn't ask about price. And he said he would follow up for it with me on a quote, which he never followed up. He made some fundamental sales mistakes. The first was he made an assumption about me. He assumed that I couldn't pay his prices. Now, what he didn't know was I had done my homework. I had investigated prices before I ever got on the phone with him, and I was fully aware and capable of paying his prices. But this got me to thinking how often we in the online world, we as coaches, we as sellers of an amazing product or service do this. We assume that our people can't pay for our product or service before they ever bring up price. But here's the thing. You, as the business owner who started a business to help people, are actually making a complete ass of yourself when you assume that someone can't pay for your products or services. It's no different than if you walked into a doctor, calling on my pharma days, if you walked into a doctor and had a heart condition, and the doctor went back to the nurse and said, you know what, I got this really expensive drug that's not covered by insurance that costs $100 a month. Or I've got this generic drug that costs $20 a month that is covered by insurance. I don't think my patient can afford the $100 a month drug, so I'm not even going to give her the option. I'm just going to give her the cheapo drug that's not as effective, but that she can afford. Can you see how that is fundamentally wrong? Can you see how you're doing your client or potential client or people a disservice? It is wrong to assume that someone can't afford your product or your service that can change their life because you have an issue with money. So get over it. Make peace with it. You're not selling to children. You're selling to adults who are fully capable of saying, I can't afford that. It's the number one objection we hear. But you, as the seller, as the person who can potentially change their life, you don't get to make that decision for them. So today's tip of the week is stop assuming people can't afford your product or services. I don't care how much they cost. I don't care if it costs $15,000 or it costs $5,000. Stop making an assumption about your people. I guarantee you, if you do this, you will get more yeses and you will be able to make an impact in many more people's worlds. Do more of what you love, which is what this is all about. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, about assumptions that we all make from time to time about money and if people can or cannot afford our services. Tell me where you struggle. Tune in next week for a KTV about how to get lucky.